having to stream. How do I see if anyone is watching? I don't. That's kind of frustrating. If you're watching, say hi. Okay, let's see. We need to see the network requests to this API. There we go. So we're posting. To this URL. Let's see. All right, we are sending a post. Unsupported media type. Yeah, because we're sending JSON. And you cannot construct it. Okay. That's the request here. Okay. This is our query. And we get back something. Okay, but now if I run this, is this the... No, it's not. Okay. Give it to me raw. This looks pretty reasonable. So what's the problem here? Oh, it's like inside of a query thing. Okay, let's see. Let me just clean this up a little bit. Okay, this has a query. And is that the only key in there? So does this work? Missing query type. Okay, there's even more in there. Okay. There's a query and a signature. So if I just use this here, this looks like a regular query. Oh yeah, it works. Cool. Oh. Okay. So we gotta just having some notes here. This is the endpoint. This is what we are sending. This is what we're getting back. So the plan here is this. What I want to do is we're using Druid as one of the backend services for TelemetryDeck. And hang on, here we go. And Druid speaks two types of languages. It speaks mostly the query language that you know as TelemetryDeck Query Language, which is basically a superset of the Druid query language. So, but Druid also speaks SQL, but it doesn't execute the SQL directly. What it does instead is Druid converts those SQL queries into Druid JSON queries, which look like this. They have like a query type and then like other stuff. And this is cool. In the TelemetryDeck user interface, we only support this type of queries because these are actually safe. Like we can parse those. These are more or less safe, or at least safer from any injection attack or of some sort, because this is all regular. So for example, on the server, I will, before running any query, I will add a filter that limits all the data that this query can access to only the apps in your organization, basically. But these are kind of hard to write. So people have been asking me, can we have a thing that converts the easy to write SQL into the query language so that the basic gist of the query is easy to write, and then people can edit the query language as well? And this is what I'm trying to do. And I don't want to do it myself. Instead, what I want to do is I want to use the existing API from Druid to do that work for me. So what I want to try is, can I use the API that we just found out? Can I use that to convert it and then maybe clean up the result query and then return that to the user? And if we can do that, then it's easier to play around with this and Like people can still write SQL if they have a very complicated query that they want to express themselves. But it will still be safe because it's still executed as a TelemetryDeck query, which goes through the normal channels with the security that we put on top. Okay, so that's the idea. And this is what I have so far. So I know the URL. This is, of course, a localhost, but I will, of course, change that to our actual Druid server in production. And I know how to send the query there. And I have a response here, which is this. So first question that I have is, this adds a context. Do we need that context? So let's try it out. What if I just don't send a context? It will still send me everything that I need. So that's pretty cool already. Because then I don't need to add that context. So this should, use native query explain true. I don't know what that means like that. But what happens if I set that to false? It's okay. Oh, oops. It's slightly different what it's returning. So this is just a query. And this is a Druid query rel. It's very similar. This still sends, this is mostly the query basically. And it has a context and a signature, which is both good. But I don't know what the query rel means. So I think I'm just gonna keep this on. And actually, if I just disable the whole context, this looks very similar. Hang on, what's the difference? Query type is the same. It doesn't send a context because we're not giving it a context. So that's good. Okay, so let us just. So that's pretty easy to send. So this is an SQL query that we're sending. Let's just make it a little bit pretty. And then this is the response that we get. It doesn't have the plan anymore. So that's, oh wait, it does. Okay, yeah, that's just, this is the whole thing that we get. And just to be sure, let's just try this out. So what we already learned is that here we go. We can take that, we can put that in here, or actually let me put it into my editor so it's a bit prettier, and format it. Okay, we can take the result, and then we want the first element of the result. And that has a query parameter. Is that correct? No, that's not correct. Because we're getting more than just that. We are getting, that is what we're getting. Okay, let me clean this up. So, okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so we get an array back. So first of all, we need the first element of that array. We're already doing that. Cool. Then inside that there's an object that's called plan. That's what we want. And then that is JSON, but it's escaped. I don't know why this is like this. I assume because this is just like it's trying to display that as a JSON object in the UI. So next up is So we have the plan now, and then from that, I'm just going to delete everything around here to simulate that. Hang on, just make sure. Just make sure we're just getting this here. So we need this line because that's the plan. And yeah, okay, so we get this string. Convert that into JSON, please. We'll just make that into pseudocode. And then the query, how can I do this? I can probably just replace all of these with this. That should work. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Let's just format it again. And this is the object with the query. So again, we need the first element there. Of course, there needs to be like some security check or something. And then that object has a query property. So that is what we want. Okay. This already looks very good. And if I just take the query property, hang on, where does this end? Here, okay. So if I just get the query property like this, this should already be an executable query. Let me just try that out. Yeah, that's running, but it's pretty long running because it has an interval that goes basically for over all time. And also it has this context. So we need some cleanup. First of all, I want to see if I can just remove the context here. What happens if I just remove the context? I don't think I need it because we're adding an auto context. Yes, okay, cool. So let's remove context. And also let's change the intervals. And the thing is, Druid doesn't know this, but our server will actually supply proper intervals that correspond to the data intervals that will be shown in the UI. So we can just remove the intervals actually. I don't think those are necessary. Remove intervals property. And the filters will be applied during query execution. Cool. So this is actually pretty cool. We have found our API. Very nice. So let's see, what is the next thing that we need to do? We need to actually work on our API. How do I do this? I think what I want to do is I want to create, because I think I want to actually parse the whole thing. So I want to create models for that. And to do that, I'm starting Xcode because the server is written in Swift, as you know, as you might know. And because all of this work is going to be in Xcode, I can just share the Xcode window, and that will make everything a little bit bigger, which is going to be nice. Okay, so let me just do this. I'm sorry, this is of course not good content, but okay, now this is sharing the whole screen, but as you see, my screen is pretty big, so instead I want to capture a single window. And sometimes this drop-down doesn't have all the windows that I have, which is kind of frustrating. Xcode, here we go. Okay, make it a bit smaller. Actually, make the window a bit smaller so it's bigger on your screen. But then also make it fit the screen here. Oh, we can make it higher, I guess. Here we go. Awesome. Okay, where are we? So this is basically all the models that TelemetryDeck is using, and then also basically the actions that have just to do with the model. So no outside connectivity, just JSON parsing, and then when the JSON is parsed, then like doing something like this. For example, if I open the sidebar here, you will see that we have a lot of stuff that defines the queries, as in the queries that I can send to Druid, but also the queries that the various additions that we have made to the query language, and then how to compile it down to the pure Druid query language. Something like that. We also do some query generation here because this is also very easy to do, like outside of the main API server, because it's just working on static input output, and I can then very easily run a lot of tests with that, and that's pretty cool as well. So what we want to do now is we want to generate the various definitions for the like JSON that we just got, and then add various functions that can for example extract a query from the pure JSON, and then we want to back this up with some unit tests. Let me just double check if I have the newest version from Git here. Yeah, I'm on main. Okay, let me just create a new branch. Feature slash yeah, you can't see this, I know, but I'm not switching windows right now. Again, I'm sorry. What is this called? SQL API, I guess. Okay, cool. Now, where do we go from here? What we want to do is we want to create the tests, but I can't create the tests if I don't have anything to put in there yet, I think. Or actually we can start with the tests. Hang on, I like starting with the tests, and I think I want a new folder here. SQL query conversion tests. Oh wait, this falls under query generation, doesn't it? Okay, let's put it under query generation. We can move it later because this only has one file yet anyway. New file. It's just a Swift file, and this doesn't really help. And we'll call it SQL query conversion converter. Right, awesome. These are mostly enums because they have like various functions and stuff like that. Let's start with a struct. Query conversion request, I guess. And this is of course codable. And usually all of these are hashable as well to make them easier to cache, but I don't think we need to cache this one. And so let me just quickly copy and paste what we have in our issue here. Basically this. So this is very easy. This is just a string, and it's called query. We need initializers for this because we want to call this from outside the package. And we also need some docs, which are gonna be, hang on. Huh, it's formatting it. Cool. Okay, we have some documentation. Everything is public and accessible. So let's model the response. SQL query conversion response. Also codable. Okay, so this is a bit trickier because we have actually there's response is multiple things. Okay, let me have a look at the response again. So this is an array of plan and resources basically. And we're just going to ignore the resources. So it's response item because which is just one of the things, and this thing is called public let, and it's going to be called plan. Which is a very loud shout, basically. Okay. Cool. This is a string, of course, which is kind of annoying, but we're just gonna double convert it. But with this we can also write some tests to see like how this works. Okay, give me a new test file. SQL query. Maybe I should have called it conversion. I'm going to call it conversion. So I'm also going to call it conversion tests. So let's just rename this. Because this is going to be multiple things. So we're just going to have it here. Okay. Do we need the performance testing? No, we also don't need setup and teardown. And let's just run it and see if it works. Builds for a second, and hopefully it runs as well. Testing. Yes. Okay. Cool. It's green. The next runs should be way quicker. Tests. So what do we want to test? We want to test if we can encode the request. So the input is gonna be, wait, where's the thing gone? Here we go. Do I need to import something? Yes, we need to import the thing. And then it's going to be a SQL query conversion request with a query. Wait, what was like? Give me an example query. Give me an example query. This looks like a good one. And of course, we need to escape those. Okay, this is our input. And we now see if we can... What's the expected output here? Oh God, now we need to write JSON by hand. Actually, I didn't escape all the quotation marks here. And because I'm seeing this telemetry signals, this is actually also something that I don't want users to change. So this is another cleanup to do. So I'm writing, I'm updating my to-do list here. Set data source to telemetry signals. No other data sources are allowed. Okay, cool. So the expected output is going to look something like this. I'm going to paste this in from my paw. Actually, I don't. Hang on. So we are getting this. We're getting a query object. And the query is just going to be this. So this is super easy. Actually, let's just extract this query because we can use it at multiple times, because this is just going to be the SQL query with some added quotation marks. And now we're just gonna encode it into JSON. The input, and this needs a try, I think. And then we assert that it's the same expected output and output. This looks about right. Cool. Of course, this one of those is data, the other one is string. So actually, the output string is equals string from data in UTF-8. So this makes it easier to compare. Does this build? I'm sure that's like a tiny mistake in there, but does it build? It does. Let's run it. Okay, these are not the same. So let's compare those two strings. Okay, first of all, it's optional. Oh, both are optional. Okay. Okay, first of all, it wants the word query also to be with quotation marks, which is fine. Also, this is escaping way more. Why is this double escaping? There's probably a super clear reason for that. But I don't want it double escaped. I want it single escaped, if escaped at all, actually. Hang on, do I need to? Yeah, okay, so I need to escape it once so it doesn't conflict with the JSON. So I want it to look like this. But because I have this, because I'm using this SQL query thing, apparently, apparently it's double escaping here. How can I fix this? Because the second one is the one that like my encoder is encoding, right? These are too many escapes. Like each backslash is converted into 3 backslashes somehow. Huh. Okay, first of all, let's just see if our query thing worked now. So this at least should be the same now. Let's just put them next to each other so we can easily compare them. Okay, this is also different. There's a space in there that we're not allowed to use. Okay, but now we're back to the escaping problem. How can I do this? I'm confused. Because I thought that these backspaces, they're not actually part of the string, right? They're part of the string interpolation. So why do they show up? Why do they show up in the converted string? Is there a JSON encoder escaping property or something? And I thought I had this correctly, basically, but okay, the internet doesn't know, or basically like just a 5-second Google doesn't know. Let's think about it. If I have something that, of course, this is not a correct query right now, but just like something that's not escaped, what comes out there? Oh, it just works. Okay, it's the same. But I want this to be... Okay, I have a different idea. Let's just remove the escaping. Okay, let me just move this out there because I'm going to need it a few more times, I think. I'm going to make this a multi-line string. And this way, I don't need to have the escape characters because, as you know, Swift multi-line strings are amazing. Okay. Now what do you say? Still not equal. Yeah, there's like too many. Okay, there's various like new lines in there that are, that's a different problem basically. But I'm still saying multiple escapes basically. So why is it escaping so much? Or is this an output problem basically? But then it would, like, this is also an output problem, right? Actually, this might be correct, you know? Okay, let's remove the new lines just in case, just so it's easier to reason about. And now let's compare the two, the input and the output. All right, so we still have like multiple escapes. And I don't know if this is just an output problem or if there's an underlying problem there. I mean, obviously there's an underlying problem there. But if I like remove the multi escapes, it kind of works. Oh, this is frustrating. Let's see. Can we Google that? Can we find out Swift JSON encoder escaping behaviors? Okay, no. JSON encoder has the without escaping slashes property. Huh. And I also already have my own encoder, which has lots of various like properties here. And this already says without escaping slashes. So this already should do the thing that we ask it to do. So then why is it that we are not getting the thing that we want? What else can we do? First of all, let's make this a little bit cleaner. Swift format to the rescue. I expected like this part of the whole thing like to take like 3 minutes, and then I could go into the actual stuff that's like not working. And now it turns out that this is the meat of the problem already. Mimi says hi. Mimi, who went to the vet today, so she's not too eager to be picked up right now, but she's coming in and saying hi, so that's kind of nice. Mimi's my cat, by the way. Yes, you can stop meowing now. Or you will be on camera if you don't stop meowing. Oh. Come here. Come. Oh, okay, so she's still stressed out from her visit to the vet, but everything is fine with her, so. Okay, where was I? I don't know how to do this encoding correctly. And I don't know if I should actually have multiple. I think maybe what I'm gonna try is I'm just gonna expect it to be this basically. Because I'm kind of suspecting that this is an output issue. Whoops. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna like now make the test pass. And then just see what the server says if I send this to it. So this is what I actually need, you know, this here. So this is the expected output. What happens now? It doesn't even build. Whoops. Ah, because this is the optional in there. Okay, and our tests are working. We'll have to see if this is actually correct. But if it is, then this will prevent us from getting a regression, which is also very helpful, of course. Okay, so let's assume that we can send this to our server. And then let's see if we can parse the response item. So hang on, I got a cable coming over here. I gotta actually move this to be able to access my keyboard. Test decoding conversion response. Okay, another multi-line string, because multi-line strings are cool, in fact. And this is the whole response that I'm expecting. This is an example response from the server. Yeah, okay. And then let's just try decoding it first. And then what we need is a SQL query conversion response item array from this thing converted to UTF-8 data. No, just, yeah, this can be, we can force this. First of all, does it throw? It throws. Badly formed object around line 1, column 13. Okay, let's look at the object. Let's look at the object. Hang on. Let me just. So this is what we're getting. So if I convert this into slightly more readable JSON, this is what it looks like. This looks correct to me. So let's see if the error still persists if I format it slightly. Yes, it does. Okay, and I think the reason for this is that now I have the single escapes, and these are not enough, maybe. Around line 3, column 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, right around here. So what happens if I give it more escapes? Will the location of the error change? Yes. Okay, let me just go back to the source here and just basically replace all the single backslashes with triple backslashes. Here we go. Let me paste that in again. And how do you like them apples? Okay, it can decode something from it. We don't know if it's working yet. So that's the next part. Expected output equals. We need a string of. And I don't have an initializer here because I thought I didn't need one, but it turns out we need one. So let's generate one. I don't want to shout all the time. It's worse enough that it's in there. And I'm too lazy to basically define like coding keys here to name this better, because this is just an helper object, right? So now I have a plan. I don't have a resources object, but this should be this should be ignored anyway, so we're going to ignore it. So xt assert equal expected output expected output. Are those comparable? No, we're not equatable. Now we are equatable. So what does this test say now? This is not very readable, so let me just extract it again. Where's the is not equal to? Is not equal to, here we go. Okay, now we have single backslashes. So fine, let's give it the single backslashes then, because these should be enough. Because now these should be enough, of course. Yes. Okay, that actually makes sense to my mind. So let's use the single backslashes, and I think we haven't closed the thing. No, actually, this is exactly what I wanted, but there's a comma here. Comma doesn't make sense. How do you like them apples? You like them apples. Very good. Okay. So now we're going to have to still try this out with the server, but let's just assume those work. If not, we're going to have to work on those, but like the escaping makes it hard. But now the rest is hopefully less about string escaping. Let me look at my notes. We have a plan object now, right? Right. And so now we're going to have to interpret that plan as a JSON. And for that, and that it's going to be a query container. Okay. SQL query conversion response. Query container. Let's make it codable and equatable, because we're going to have to equate it again probably. Okay, what we are expecting the plan to be. The plan is going to be an array of objects that have a query property. So what we want to do here is the array so this just basically has a query property. And now my question is this already a query, like a proper Or is this, let me look at my notes. I don't think there's more escaping inside there. So this should also already be a query. And we have models for that. So that's very good because I don't have to go deeper into the thing. So let's go test that out. We need an initializer again. Okay. Now I think what I can do is actually I can give this thing here a property of some sort, maybe a function, and call it decode plan. And then, or should I just do it like decode custom query? Because like the, yeah, get query, come on. And it's going to be return an optional custom query because it might fail at some point. Or, you know what? It's going to throw. How about them apples? Okay. No. Oh, we're already at this for, I have been at this for an hour. Okay, I don't know if I can finish this within the next 30, 40 minutes. Let's hope so. Cool. Let me look at my notes. Okay, this is what we need to do. What we want to do is we want to take the plan and if this is an internal, this is an internal, and because if we're doing this in there, we have this is just an internal type. So this makes it easier. Swift format file. And then we can also just call it plan container because it's an internal type. It can be shorter name. Throws may only occur before. Oops. Oh, okay. I thought it was the other way around. Okay, we're gonna try and decode plan as a plan container object, as an array of plan container objects. So this is probably an item. JSON decoder, decode array of plan container item from plan data using UTF-8. And there's no real throws for, there's no like, okay, if I wanted to make this throwable, and then the first thing is I need to check whether the data is actually like decodable as data, then I need to define my own errors here. Hang on, can I use JSON decoder errors? Because I think that's what I'm doing in our various other parts of this thing. I don't know. Let me just find something that decoding error. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Did I? And that is provided by Swift. Okay, because decoding error is actually exactly what we need. We just need to externalize this into its own. Is it corrupted? I guess it must be corrupted. Let me just find an example of where I've used this. Yeah, this is a good example, I think. This should never happen really, but yeah, we can do this. Okay, so now we have a plan data. And this can throw, and we can just let it throw. Let it throw, let it throw. Okay, this is not optional, this is good. But we need it to have at least one item in there. So let's have another guard. Plan items dot first. And else we're throwing another decoding error. Plan did not contain at least one item. Okay, and so now we have a first plan item. That is a plan container item, and that contains a query. So now we can return the query. Cool. Okay. By the way, like a lot of people sometimes say like, hey, this is so much work parsing JSON in Swift. And this could be so much easier in JavaScript or Python or whatever. And that's correct. But at the same time, what you gain from doing this the hard way is that it's type safe. And I can be reasonably sure that the data that comes in there doesn't have any weird side effects. I don't have to do so much work cleaning up data, testing whether the data has the correct format, stuff like that. So I think it evens out in the end. All right, cool. Let's test this out. Actually, we can continue this test because we already have lots of the stuff in there. Because output is a response item. The response item. Okay, so we need output.count to be 1. We're expecting this to be true. Also, that's because we're doing more than one thing in here. We could probably rename expected output and stuff. Huh. The more correct version would probably be to have its own test, right? Okay, fine. Test, what's the function that we just created? We can just externalize this as well. This is gonna be called not input, but plan JSON. And we're gonna put it up here, and we can use it in the other test as well. And we tested this before, so this is just going to be response items. And we are reasonably sure that this is going to be working here. Just running it for a second just to see like whether there's. So this is an SQL query conversion response item. Give me the query. Yes, this can throw. We made it throwable. We have a query now. Oh, but this is expected to decode string, but found a dictionary instead. Oh, this is interesting. So our encoder actually threw. So this here has an error. Actually, this line through. And it's so expect a string, but dictionary. So this is not a string or a dictionary. So this is probably fine. The array are all, but plan container item. Oh, I think I have an idea of the problem. Okay. Quick explanation. This is gonna be like we just found out that we're not gonna fix this or finish this today. Okay. So these query types, or these druid queries, they have various properties that can have like either a string as a value or a dictionary of further configuration. And whenever that was the case, what I always did was I only implement the complicated case where it's like it always has to be a sub-object, because this way it's like more easily readable, it's more defined, and of course it's a bit more boilerplate, but like I'm not expecting people to write this all the time. But apparently our Druid server in this case is returning this. This might be it. Oh no, this is actually the problem. Granularity type all. Okay. Because granularity is not a dictionary. Like it's expect. So apparently, I didn't even know that you could define granularity like that. So we need to work on our granularity decoding. Because this is also a valid way of returning the granularity. And if the server is giving that to us, we can't really argue against the server, right? So I think we need to add another test that tests this, then work on this, and then come back to this problem. This is probably in the custom query tests. So here's our custom query, just like one custom query. And this, as you see, is a granularity all. But we have granularity type all. So we need a more expanded granularity definition. Am I in the correct? But because like nothing else here is really. Anyway, okay. So this is my example query. I'm just going to copy it here and modify it. And I'm going to change the granularity to, what was it? Type all. like this. And then I still expect these things to be true. Basically, this is a copy of this test, but most of the stuff is already tested, but I need to test the granularity here. Granularity is basically like how do I want to group my data? Like it can be like maybe day or week or month or something like that. And this is like the size of the buckets that I'm putting data in. For example, if I have a time series query about how many people are visiting my site each day, then the granularity would be day. And if I wanted to have like how many people are visiting my site each month, then the granularity would be month. Anyway, I'm expecting this to fail. Let's see if it fails. Example JSON was never used because this is actually, yeah, okay. So it's not even a failing. We failed at making the test fail. Now it fails, and I'm hoping this will be the same error as the other one expected a string but found a dictionary answer. Very good, because now we can work on that in like without like having all the other stuff. So is this actually used? Oh yeah, but it's only comparing the granularity, so I can make this a bit easier. We don't need dimensions, we don't need intervals. Yeah, this is easier to read, I guess. And it should fail with the same error, basically. Expect you to decode a string, but found a dictionary instead. Okay, now let's go to where we define this. Custom query has a granularity, and this is basically an enum. It actually is an enum, not basically. And it not even is like, it doesn't even have custom codable entries, which is sad in a way because then I have to add them. Okay. So let's do that. Init from decoder. Let's write this by hand. Do I have an example of how to do this? Maybe in query time interval? Yeah. Oh yeah, this is actually very helpful. This is how to decode just a string. So basically what we're going to do is like we're going to see if it's a single value container. Then we're going to try interpreting it as just a string. And otherwise we're going to try and decode it as a dictionary. Okay, here we go. Do I have super? How can I access the super class? Like I'm overriding the init from decoder, right? But I want the original init from decoder because this is just a normal case. Swift super initializer. Super.init. But it doesn't. Okay, I can't return it. Oh, come on. Do I have to like do the whole thing now just because oh, that's frustrating. Swift. Super decoder. In case of inheritance, you must implement coding yourself. Oh, when this is the Stack Overflow answer. Oh, this is from 2015. Update 17 ended up finding a bug with Apple about this. No further updates. Okay. I am frustration. Let's use this. Let's use multiple helper enums here. Okay, first of all, before I do this, can I just generate, because I can generate a member-wise add explicit codable. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, it doesn't work. Maybe it needs to build first. Okay, let's try this again, because this would be so cool. Oh, it doesn't work. Why does it work? Okay, this is a new feature in Xcode 14 apparently. Does it do the other? Okay, add documentation works. Show quick help works. Rename works. Add explicit codable implementation does not work. What happens if I remove the codable for a second? Okay, it doesn't even offer it. Okay, so it must be codable. Oh, this would have been so nice. How? Okay, what if I give it like a prompt to autocomplete? No. Okay, it feels like these features only work in an XC project, whereas I'm in a Swift package and that's where they don't work maybe. How frustrating. But, what can we do? I guess we just have to do it ourselves. Let me see if I can have enum example decoders. Wait, I do. I know. I have lots of them, but they're a lot of work. Okay. Oh, everything is always more work than you think it is. Oh. I got more favorites on Mastodon. So that's nice. Okay. Let me find an example. A post aggregator is an enum. And this is associated cases. We don't need those, but this is actually pretty helpful. Because this is the, and then we just switch it and yeah, okay, whatever. We can't do super in it. And we can't auto-generate the codable implementation. Much frustration. Okay. So now we have a single value container. We need a type, which is going to be a string. And then we need this, I think, because a single value container, and we need of type string. Okay. And else we need a container keyed by the coding keys. And the coding keys, this is just an enum. Okay. Of case type, right? Because let's look at the implementation. Yeah, it's type. So yeah, this is the path for when we have an array. Okay, so now we have a type. So now let's switch type. Like this. And okay, so in theory, now I could just compare the type string to each of those and whatever and set them. But can I loop through those? Can I Swift enum loop cases? I think wasn't there a new thing that like this is possible? All cases. Okay, not a switch then. For case in self.all cases, maybe uppercase. All cases. No, this is a case iterable. So I need to. Okay, I need to give it. This is just for internal use, but still nice. If type equals case.raw. Okay, this is obviously a reserved keyword. And this is going to be raw value. Okay, cool. I cannot, or I have initialized why is type used before being initialized? Okay. Then we're going to throw another data corrupted error. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Very cool. Okay. almost built. Constant type used before being initialized, but it's either initialized here or here. So in what case is it not being initialized? This is confusing me right now. Chat has no answers. Chat has only scorn. Come on. What am I not missing? It's an if else. So that means that either of these is being executed. Oh, here the warning is helping. Let's type here because now we don't want to make a new one. We want to set it here. And it builds. And I'm going to run all of my tests now because this is a huge change. Okay, so far so good. This is surprisingly good. Like, I haven't broken anything in addition to the things we've already broken. So that's pretty nice. By the way, this is only the decoder, but for encoding, we always wanted to return as a string, so that's fine. We're just going to encode it with the default encoder. So let's look at the error here. This still says expected to go at string, but found a dictionary instead. But it has a different coding or context. It has a coding path now. Okay, so it has coding case, string value, granularity, int value, nil, debug description. This is a decoder. This is a decoder. So we're in the decoding case. So this is what where we want to be, right? I thought that we would now fall into that else case. Maybe we aren't. Let's just debug this. If let container, single value container. Oh, this crashes here because I can just make a single value container. Like it doesn't stop me from doing it. But it will then fail here. So what we have to do is rename this single value container, and this is a keyed container. And basically these always just will be generated. And we accept any errors that come out there. These should be like, so as I understand it now, these will not crash. These will just wait, but then this will crash. So let's grab this here, and then this is the single value type. And then in this if, we will set the type to the single value type. Else, we will just decode it. Okay, run the test again. Does this crash? No. Does this crash? No. Do we get a single value? We shouldn't get a single value. Okay, so we are trying to decode. Okay, I'm gonna push play now, and it works. Nice, very good, very good. Okay, now let's run all of our tests again, and we should see more green now. I'm seeing one red, but less. I'm seeing what I'm seeing that is a bad thing is that we have tests down here that we haven't touched that are now also failing. This is not good. Okay, let's just step through one of these because obviously they have to do with the thing that we just changed, right? So, okay, have you seen it? Like it's basically crashing at the creation. Hang on, where were we here? It's basically crashing in this line. So I thought this was, but we only need this down here. So we can try it like this, I guess. Does this help? It does. Okay. Another full test run. Oh, this looks very nice. So we're back at just one test failing. This is the one we are working on. And we still have a type mismatch. But at data source. Okay, data source. So data source is basically exactly the same case as granularity. I didn't even know that. Okay, type table. I mean, it makes sense, but still it's frustrating. Oh, this is especially frustrating because we're never even gonna, whatever the thing is returning, we're not even gonna look at it because we're just discarding it and gonna replace it with the data source that we actually want our users to be accessing, right? But still, I guess we have to do the work. Back to custom query. First of all, let's write another test. So basically, let's duplicate this test and test expanded data source definition. And the data source is gonna be, hang on, I have too many things open now. I think this can be closed. It's gonna be in there. Data source. There we go. Okay. Data source type table name telemetry signals. That is what we need. Okay. Custom query tests. Why do we only have custom query regex test? That doesn't make sense. Okay. The file is started as a regex file, I guess. Let's just rename this. Because this is more than just regex. This is just custom query tests. Yeah, this is better. Okay. Cool. We have copied this. But we have here, this is the one copied from the thing. Let's remove the escapes because we fixed those because we're using multi-line strings. We don't need to escape inline. Yeah. And then we want to compare the data source. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. And this should now fail with the same error that we had before, right? What's the error? That's It's in there. Expected to go to string, but for the dictionary set. Okay, cool. Custom query, data source is just a string, I guess. And so the big thing that we need to do here is this is actually not a string anymore because it needs to be its own object, and that object can then have its own codable implementation. Let's put that in its own file, I guess. Ooh. Okay, we had type table and name TelemetryDeck. So we need a type. Type is data source type. We're gonna have a sub enum, and that's just gonna have a. Wait, you don't have cases, right? Yeah. And this is gonna be table, because we're just gonna support a table for now. But like, if the whole thing, like type table, is like one of them, like maybe we want to use other ways of looking up. Like for example, you can, in theory, use another query as data source, so you can have nested queries. And we don't support that right now. But like, if we're writing this anyway, then we might as well just do it properly, right? But right now we're just supporting case tables, so it's just a one line enum. Okay, public. Let type, and type is a data source type. Then we have the name, public let name, and it's going to be a string. Okay, let's see if by any chance we can. Oh, now it works. So this works. Very nice. We just need to make it public. So this saves us a lot of typing work, I think. It doesn't fix our problem yet, because this is just because we need to have a similar if statement as we had here. So if we have a single value container, then this is what we're doing. Hang on. And actually, we're gonna pair those like this. I'm actually gonna run Swift format for a second. Okay, no, it doesn't really. I thought it would like make the lines less long or something. Actually, also give me a member-wise initializer that's also public. Okay, cool. And then also this. This is not a type, this is a name. Self init and then return. Okay, this doesn't work. Gonna just do it like this. Does this work? It does. Swift format, please clean up for me. For the encoder, do I have any downsides if I just always encode it in the expansive form? Nah, let's do it. Let's do it like, okay. If self-type equals table, which is always the case, but just for future compatibility, then the container is going to be a single value encoding container. How do I do this? Hang on. This is what I want. Single value container. And then I'm just going to encode a value, single value container. Why am I encoding a bool in there? Okay, this is just like auto-completion not working properly. I'm going to encode self.name in there. And so what this is going to do is, hopefully, if we are a type table, then it will just use the single string representation. And otherwise, it's going to try and use the encode the full. The full implementation. Okay, what do the tests say? Ooh, we have more failing tests. Also, this is failing, which is sad. Expected to decode string but found a dictionary instead. Well, that's just what we. Oh, wait. We created this custom query, this data source property, but the custom query still uses a string as a data source. Okay, fine. This had a default value, so we're gonna give it a default value again. Just a telemetry signals. Oh, I have 15 more minutes, by the way. Okay. Cannot assign type string. Fine. No, you can. I'm just going to use the build errors to guide where I'm using this, basically. Maybe I should change the init function instead, because I don't know how many times I need this, but okay, fine. Just in case, I'm going to copy this into my pasteboard, because I might have to change a lot of stuff. Because all the tests are basically generating data sources, right? Okay, this is too much. We are going back and changing the init initializer. We want a custom query with two initializers. This one and this one. And this one is gonna take a string with the default value of telemetry signals. And then it's just gonna generate the data source of table. And then I'm gonna revert those changes. Hang on. Where do I see changes? Good. And it builds. Let's see if it tests. No. Oh, but it does. Expanded data source definition now works. Okay, we're back here. We have another type mismatch. Intervals. Expected to decode array, but found a dictionary instead. Oh, the intervals is also a type. Oh, come on. I didn't even know that. Like that. I didn't even know that it's possible and it is allowed. Oh, this is frustrating. Because this is already a very custom implementation anyway. Let's see. How can we do this? I have too many open files. Hang on. Just close everything. Look at the problem again. I'm really happy that I have a lot of tests on this because yeah, it's just a lot of work right now. The thing is, the intervals, we're not going to use them anyway. Like most of the time, when we use intervals, like when the server gives us intervals, we don't want to use them. But I can't do a sloppy job of this, of really looking at them because, can we write a wrapper maybe? Oh, this is not good. Okay, let's have a look at the tests. How are these defined? These are like type intervals, and then we have the intervals. Why do we have the type intervals there? Like, this is just a wrapper around it. Let me just put this here as a reminder. Also, these are way too long to read properly, so I'm going to change them to my favorite interval from the year 0 up until the year 3000. Okay, the encode I always wanted to have like this because I don't want to do the type intervals. I don't even see the point here. Init from decoder. Okay, this already doesn't work. Because like usually what I'm expecting basically is this, right? Ignore the backslashes. So this part. But, and so in custom query, .swift. The intervals are defined. Oh, where are they? The intervals are defined as an array of query time interval. And now I have to change that. So I do need a wrapper. I need a query time intervals container codable, hashable, equatable, Okay, and I'm only going to work on the decoding. Now it has a type. And we're going to interpret that as a string. No, that's sloppy. Don't be sloppy. This is type intervalsa. And we have public let intervals, which is just an array. Come on. Of query time interval, which is already pretty long to decode. Okay, I never want to encode this. I'm just going to use this for decoding. And in fact, the decoding needs to happen on the custom query decoder, I think. Because I think that's the right choice. Okay. Because I always wanted to be at the end a query time interval. I'm just going to discard the data that comes in, because there is just one type here. There is no other type as of intervals. So where's the init from decoder? Ooh, this doesn't have. This is like, even though this is like the biggest class ever, struct ever, it has no custom initializer. Which makes it slightly harder. Okay, but we can still do this. We can do this in the decoder here. So encoding, we always want to encode it like this. But decoding, we want another iflet. Where did we have that before? With data source, I think. Right. This, but the other way around, basically. Keyed by, and then we want the query time interval container. Coding keys. What's the type of coding keys? String coding key. Fine. We just want it to public. Okay, this is too much if. I'm just gonna extract it for now and then wrap it in an if later. Let keyed container. Okay. Can I make this static? Is this allowed? The declaration cannot be marked static. Okay. I'm not sure this is like, why would it? Oh wait, okay, but the others are also coding keys itself. Okay, so this is apparently the thing. Does this have like a get function or something? Hang on, keyed container. I've used this a lot of times. I just forget. Oh yeah, okay. Let, what are we actually doing here? Interval. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. Initializer for conditional binding must have optional type not string. Okay. So basically what you're saying is this is not conditional. So let's move it inside the if. Okay, we have an interval, and that's like an array of strings. And let's call this interval array, interval string. Oh. Intervals. Okay. The thing is now that we can only return one query time interval, but we have the possibility of having multiple. I'm gonna fix this later because I'm running out of time. So now I'm just gonna use this basically. Okay, we're gonna push this in there, and then we're gonna guard inter. Oh. And then we're gonna throw a decoding error, data corrupted. And then we have an else case. like this, I think. Does it build? We need to set it. Interval string is equals first string. Okay. Does it build? It does. Does it test? It does not. Still intervals. Okay. Oh, that's too bad. I really wanted to finish this. At least like end at a good place. Let's maybe try like 5 more minutes to see if we can at least get this to green. Okay, this doesn't even stop here basically. Oh, I know why. Oh, that's too bad. It's because the work that I've done just now, it expects, or how do I explain this? Hang on. So here in custom query, in the custom query definition, which is here, intervals is defined as an array of something. Like right now it's query time interval, and we worked on query time interval. But it's defined as an array of something. And we don't even have an array. We have a dictionary now. So this doesn't work. So this needs its own wrapper. And that is very frustrating. Okay, so this doesn't work. What if we add a decoder? Hang on, let me try this again because it worked once, right? The codable implementation. Oh yeah, cool. Just need to make it public, which is fine. Okay. Now we just need this for decoding. We don't need an encoder. And most of these are just the default encoding. But for intervals, we need a custom. So let's just put it at the bottom here. And just make it like this, then self intervals equals intervals. Actually, let's do it the other way around. Like this is the default case. And then this is the let's see if we can get a query. Now what do we call this? The wrapper? The container? I copied something, but not this. Okay. For key, this one. Oh yeah, by the way, the coding keys, did those auto-generate as well? I don't think we need those. Those should be auto-generated. This needs an opening bracket. And then like this, I guess. And if nothing's in there, then just give it an empty. Okay, it doesn't build. Why does it not build? Oh, because it doesn't have a question mark. This is expected a closing bracket. Is this still current? Huh, why? Why is this? Oh, this is a problem. Oops, okay. This is non-optional. I thought there was okay. I thought it was optional, but even better. And this should also initialize self.intervals. Now I think we can throw away the changes we made here, because either it's going to decode as this, also we can throw away this, or it's going to decode as this. So let's discard those and see if it builds, and then see if it tests. No. Intervals expected to array any, but found a dictionary instead. Okay, same error. Are you even listening to me, Swift? Are you like... Okay, so it couldn't decode the query time intervals container, which is bad because this is exactly what we wanted, right? Let me just put up the strings here. Okay, type intervals. This is what we this is what we want to decode. Oh, this is too bad. I really need to go. One more minute. Come on. This is a type, and it has intervals. And the intervals are an array of query time interval, which is correct. Let me just run this without, because I want to get an error message. What is the error message? Expected to decode dictionary string any, but found string data instead. I've never seen this. Like, I've been doing in Swift encoding and decoding for, I don't know, 65 years maybe. And I've never seen this. Huh. Why is this data? Expected to decode dictionary string any, but found a string / data instead. Oh well. Yeah, we're not gonna fix this today. I'm sorry. Everyone, this has been extremely pleasant and wonderful, and I hope to do it again soon. And in the meantime, have a wonderful evening, and I'm saying goodbye.